This is the function for sorting this list A using shell sort. Here we are entering the maximum increment value. That is the increment value that will be used in the first pass. Each iteration of this while loop corresponds to a pass of the shell sort. And this loop executes till h is greater than or equal to 1. And in each iteration of this while loop, we are decrementing h by 2. That's why we have taken this initial increment to be an odd value, because otherwise this h will not become 1 in the last iteration of the while loop. And we know that in the last pass of shell sort, the value of increment should be 1. So that's why we have taken this increment to be an odd value. Now let's see what happens in this while loop. This code is almost similar to that of insertion sort code. There are some differences. Let's see what those differences are. There we had 1 as the first argument of this range function. Here we have h as the first argument. Then there we had j equal to I minus 1. Here we have j equal to I minus h. There we had j equal to j minus 1 here. And here we have j equal to j minus h. And there we had aj plus 1 in these two places. And here we have aj plus h. Now in the last iteration of this while loop, h will be 1. And this code will become exactly similar to that of insertion sort code. And so insertion sort will be performed on the whole list in the last iteration of this while loop. Now let's see what happens in other iterations of this while loop. Suppose n is the length of the list. Now suppose in an iteration value of h is 3. So in this while loop, I will be going from 3 to n minus 1. And so all the elements from A3 to AN minus 1 will be inserted in the respective sublists one by one. Now suppose in an iteration I is equal to 15 and we are inserting element A15. So in that case, in this for loop, j will be initialized with 12, 15 minus 3. And in each iteration of this loop, j will be decremented by 3. Let's see this in a slide. I is 15, so this element A15 has to be inserted in its sublist. Now in the inner for loop, j is initialized with I minus h. I is 15, h is 3, so j is initialized with 12. And each time j is decremented by 3. So j goes 3 positions backwards each time, and this is how we access the elements of this sublist. And whenever the elements have to move right, they have to move 3 positions. So that's why we have written aj plus h is equal to aj in our code. So this is statement aj plus h equal to aj moves the elements h positions to the right. And at the end, this temp is inserted at index j plus h of the list. So this is how this while loop works. Now let's run this program. So we get the sorted output.